So now we're on the same page that your metabolism was the key reason why your fat loss was slower, right? So let's at least double down on clean eating. Naturally, at least you can get this edge, this slight advantage by eating clean and super nutritious food so that you can offset some of the effects of your slow metabolism. Your thinking is not wrong, but it's not helping you in the way you think. I spoke to a woman recently who took clean eating to a whole other level. Like, seriously, I was impressed. She was swapping white rice with quinoa and millets, zero chai in her sugar every morning, even though she hated it, no Indian snacks, no biryani, no restaurant meals outside, absolutely no cheat meals, and of course, all controlled portioned meals at home with organic ingredients. And she did this for 6 whole months, consistently. But she was thoroughly heartbroken because even after all of this effort, she gained a couple of inches around her abdomen and lower back. So the first thing I told her was that the problem isn't how clean or unclean your food is, right? The body doesn't really have this filter where if you eat junk food, it's going to automatically put that into the storage process. But if you eat clean, then it's going to use that for energy. It's about how insulin, the hormone, is responding to the food that you're eating. When I told her this, she looked confused. And I'm sure so are you. Now, there was an interesting study done in Monash University in Australia in 2013 by researchers Steptoe, Teed, and others. It was a cross-sectional study, meaning that they took snapshots of different women at the same point in time and compared them directly. This study established a strong link between insulin and PCOS. They recruited 4 different groups of women. Half were diagnosed with PCOS and half were not. So there were 20 lean women with PCOS, 20 overweight women with PCOS, 19 lean healthy women with no PCOS, and 14 overweight women with no PCOS. Now, all the groups were BMI matched, which means that the lean PCOS women were compared with the lean non-PCOS women, and the overweight PCOS women were compared with the overweight non-PCOS women. Now, this was done on purpose to find out if PCOS was causing the insulin resistance or if being overweight was. They used the gold standard test for insulin resistance, which is better than HOMA-IR, HbA1c, or whatever you might have heard of. It is called as the hyperinsulinemic clamp. This is why this study is called as foundational, because of the testing done for insulin resistance. So what they would do is that they would pump insulin into these women and then use the clamp method to find out how their body responded in real time. Needless to say, every woman got a controlled pump of insulin. Now, you know what the results showed? They showed that 75% of the women who had PCOS showed very high levels of insulin. 95% of the overweight PCOS women showed high levels of insulin. And 62% of the overweight women who did not have PCOS, they had high levels of insulin. And the lean women did not show high levels of insulin at all. So the study concluded that the women with PCOS had insulin resistance by default. It was intrinsic to PCOS. So 3 out of 4 women with PCOS had insulin resistance, which means that being overweight was not driving the insulin resistance, but it was actually PCOS. But I've been talking about insulin resistance without explaining to you what that actually is. So it's pretty simple, right? Insulin is a hormone. It is the main character in your hormonal play in your body. And resistance means there is something that does not like insulin or that is resisting insulin's function. So insulin resistance at its core means that your insulin function is weaker than other women. It's more lethargic, it's more lazier, it's simply not doing its job properly. And what is insulin's job? Insulin's job is to basically pick up the sugar molecules from your bloodstream and push them into the cells for energy. So insulin kind of activates the cell, right? Think of a cell, insulin activates it. There's a receptor that insulin sort of activates, the cell's doors open, sugar molecules enter, cell is energetic, you feel energetic, all good. The sugar molecules in your bloodstream come because you ate some delicious, nutritious food. Now, let's say that you've eaten something genuinely healthy, like, a chicken breast and a quinoa bowl with minimal oil, minimal spices. It's just like well balanced and perfect. Now, since your insulin function is weaker and your body knows that, the pancreas pumps out more insulin, right? So that it can offset the weakness. The small default amount of insulin that it's supposed to release is just not good enough. And now, since insulin is more elevated in your body, it sends signals to your body that we need to now store all of this delicious energy that we've gotten, this glucose molecules. We need to store them. We need to store them as fat. Your body starts prioritizing fat storage. So instead of that healthy bowl, filling up your cells with all of this energy, it starts storing all of it as body fat. So if you have insulin resistance, then your body will prioritize storage of fat over burning of fat whenever you eat some food, in a nutshell. So what really blew my mind was when I was looking into this, I found a 2021 metabolic study that showed that women with PCOS, when they ate high quality, good carbohydrate foods, the insulin continued to spike high. And because women with PCOS already have chronic low-grade inflammation, that kind of doubles down this fat storage effect. So eating clean does not guarantee fat loss, is what I'm trying to get at. Eating clean is definitely necessary, it's important, it's nutritious, it's what you should be doing, but it is not sufficient. So the goal isn't just choosing healthy food, it's managing the insulin response to that food. And this requires a completely different understanding of nutrition, meal timing, measuring your insulin response, the different blood markers, to know that the food that you're eating is actually working for you. And this is precisely what a lot of generic nutrition advice misses.